Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I'm bringing you a layout today that is a single page layout, which is kind of unusual for me, but we're doing the other side from the cozy cone, and this is going to be for Flo's V8 cafe. And so it should be really cute, and we're going to use our custom cutting system and do some other fun things to make those shapes. And so let's check out what I've got in my workspace and we'll get started. Okay, here's my workspace for today. And today, as I mentioned, we are going to create the V8 for Flo's Cafe as the backdrop for some photos that all involve Flo's Cafe, and the V8 is a prominent feature, so I thought it would be fun to kind of make that. And remember, our matching page is the cozy cone, so so this will be, they'll make a nice two-page layout when we get that far. I'm also going to use another bit of the swag like we did for the cozy cone, using the what is this called? This is called the dotted banner border maker cartridge. And so if you got this in a recent gift with purchase, this was a promotion that was fairly recent with Creative Memories. We're going to use this today to help decorate up our spaces for the Christmas season, since that's what this was when this happened, or when we went to Disneyland. So I got my pencil out and I got a blank paper, piece of paper that was 12 by 12, and I started having some fun just drawing and kind of trying to recreate this V8 motif that is right here in the photo. And so what I came up with was a very nice deep V that we can make from our shimmer paper, which will be lovely. And then to make the 8, we're going to use our custom cutting system circles, and they're going to help us make quick and easy circles that will enable us to do some layering and make it look really, really cool. And I just have some notes for myself out here as to the sizes of those circles. So really quick, let me walk you through how I made the template for the V. I just took my 12-inch piece of white paper and I measured it. I measured 6 inches to the center, and I drew a line through the center to help me make sure that everything was coming to the center. And then what I did was I made a little notch on that line 4 inches from the bottom, and I drew a V from that 4-inch line to the 2 upper corners. Then I came down here to where that center line came to the bottom of the page, and I marked 1/4 of an inch on either side. I know that's probably hard to see way at the base of your screen, but 1/4 of an inch to either side of the center line, and then I drew a line from that point all the way to the corresponding corner. And that is what makes our V for the V portion of our V8. All right, and I didn't cut that out because I felt like that was something I could easily just mark on my shimmer paper and cut without too much difficulty. Then these circles on the side we'll get to once we have the V cut. So let me go ahead and move my page out of the way and my circles up here for the time being. We'll get to those in a minute. I need my 0 centering ruler, and I'm going to set my template over here. I could cut my template, but for right now I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to use my grid that I have on my desktop, and I'm going to line my paper up so that it's centered on measurements that make the math really easy for me. 6 and 6 makes my center point at 22 inches because of the where I'm at on my grid. But basically you want to just find the center line, and I'm just going to put just a very light pencil mark, very, very light, at about 4 inches up. I can see where 4 inches is because I can measure that on my grid as well. And so I'm going to just turn, without moving my paper, going to turn my zero centering ruler sideways and line it up on that 4-inch mark. And just put a little cross line right there. And then just going to go ahead and mark the 1/4 inch spots on either side of my center line down here as well. All right, now my 12-inch ruler is not going to reach from the base all the way to the corner of my paper. It's just not going to. So I have to just make my best guess as to which angle is going to work, and then draw a light line along my ruler, and then extend the ruler just a little bit farther. It's only like 1 more inch, but you know, that's okay. It is what it is. And I'm just going to extend that line. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing from the center mark to that corner at the 4-inch cross mark, which is right here. Okay. So I'm just going to draw a really light pencil mark all the way to that corner. Then I'm going to do the same thing from the 4-inch position over here to this corner, to the left corner. And again, come down here to that 1/4 inch estimated mark and just kind of try to eyeball that the best I can. And hope that it's going to line up fairly decent. Okay, so like that. Now these are the marks that we are going to cut, and I'm going to grab my rotating cutter because I think that works best for me. You grab what works best for you. We're going to cut out this V. So I'm just going to line my zero centering ruler back up on that line I drew. And this is my dilemma with this particular cutter. It likes to wander. I have to really focus on keeping it right next to my zero centering ruler so that it doesn't do this. So I'm gonna need to go back over that real quick. But I'm gonna extend it to that corner so that I can do all of it all at once. There. Okay, now don't throw these out. You're going to need those, so just set them to the side or keep them right where they are, whatever works better for you. And then do the other side. Okay. It didn't quite match my lines up very well. So let me fix that. liking how rough that looks. So I'm going to flip this over so I can see it just a little bit better without having to worry about pencil lines. And get that little extra bit that's not in line. If you push too hard to try to keep it in line with your ruler, then your ruler moves, or at least mine does, because I'm not able to push down hard enough. My hands have lost enough of their strength that doesn't work for me anymore. So we just do the best we can with what we've got, right? Okay, so I'm going to start from my center point here and move out towards the outer point. There we go. And we're going to come over here and do the same thing. And if your lines are, if where you're cutting is slightly off of from what you drew, that's okay, because we're going to flip this over and use the other side. As long as it's straight, then you should be good. So I have a little bit more here. I didn't quite reach the point like it did here, but that's okay. I'm not going to stress over it. I'm going to call that a win. Okay, so now we've got our V shape. So we can, initially my thought was not to do an outline with bronze for the V, only for the 8. So let's see how it looks with that and see if we like it. And if we feel like we need to, we can go back and cut some with the V. Okay, now if you haven't already done so and you have our custom cutting circles, what I would suggest you do is make yourself some templates. So what I did was I just took all 3 of my blades. There's a green blade also. I took all 3 of my blades, all 3 of my templates, and I just went through and I made every size circle that I can make using my custom cutting system. And that enables me to physically see whether a circle is going to work for an area that I want to put it in. You can use the template that comes with your system if you prefer. This works better for me, and so I just thought I would share it with you. But you can use whatever works for you. And I've labeled each one of them so that I can recreate them. So this one says red blade, small circle on the outside edge, so that I know what I need to make this circle. So using my pink shimmer paper, which is the same paper that I used to create the V that we cut, we're going to use the red blade and the small circle, and we're going to cut around the outside edge. And that's going to be the base of our number 8. So find your small circle and your red blade and cut 1 circle for that. Okay? Now we're also going to use, to create the lower part of this number 8, we're going to use the large circle, and we're going to place this in the center. So because you can see through these templates, you just want to center this as well as you can, and you'll find that the circle that we just cut that's pink really just goes under this initial edge that comes up. And we're going to take our, let's see, yeah. Well, that's going to be fairly thin. I thought that was going to be thicker. Oh, I am mistaken. Don't cut that. I hope you didn't cut that. Let me check my notes and read my notes a little bit better, okay? So the center of this one is going to be made using the large circle and the center, but we're going to use the blue blade. I knew that looked a little bit too narrow. Okay, so we're going to line this up just like I was showing you. And then we're going to use the blue blade and go around the inside. Okay, so that's the base of our number 8. Then we need to use the medium circle and the red blade. Oh, that's the center. So my bad. Just set that aside. I don't think we're going to be needing that. We're going to use the other corner of our paper. We're going to use the large circle, and we're going to go around the center with the red blade. Have I confused you yet? Okay, so this is the right side of my template. I'm using the extra piece from the right side, and I'm just going around the largest circle in the middle with the red blade. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use the medium circle in the center. And you'll find that when you get this centered, that the pink that we've already cut goes all the way under both of the ridges that you go around in the center. If that makes sense. Okay, so red blade in the center all the way around makes the top of our number 8. Okay, now what I thought would be nice is that if we use some bronze to go around these pieces. So let me get rid of my pink extra papers here, because we don't need those just now. They're just kind of cluttering up the works. Okay, so I've got my piece of bronze here that we're going to cut, and we need pieces that are going to go around the outer edge, so in effect this number 8 gets matted. Okay, and we'll worry about what to do on this area when we get that far. So we are going to, first off, to do the outside of this circle here, we used the small circle. Let me find my template. So we use the small circle, the outside edge with the, oh, okay, I have the wrong one. It should have been this one. Okay, so we had the small circle with the outer edge using the red blade. That's what created this outside edge of this lower circle. In order to create the circle that goes underneath it, we need it to be just a little bit bigger. So we need to use the same template and use the green blade on the outside. And that will make the edge that we want. Okay, so we need the small circle, the outside edge, and we need the green blade, which of course I didn't get out, but that's okay, it's right here. Here's the green blade. So we're going to just place our template on our bronze shimmer and go around the outside with the green blade. That gives us our base for the lower half of our 8. Now the base for our top half was made using the large circle. Let me find the template for that. Let's see. So this one. No, large circle in the center with the red blade. Large circle, center, red blade. Okay. Now, in order to make one that is just a little bit larger than this one, we are going to have to use a different template because of the way this one was cut. So that's where these come in handy for me, because I can actually see how big they are. So we'll use the red blade with a small circle on the outside edge to create the circle that goes around the outer part of this one. So red blade, small circle, small template, or small, yeah, the small pattern around the outside. Now we've got our circle that goes underneath here, and just to make sure we like it, let's just place these on top. So it would be nice if that was just a little bit smaller. It will work, but it would be nice if it was just a little bit smaller. So this is a 1, 2, 3 and 1/8 or so circle. What if we took our circle maker, which, where is it? Here it is. Let's just see if we can make this work. This is an almost 4-inch circle the way it's cut right now, but I want it to be just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put this at 3 6/10, and let's see if it becomes a truer resemblance to what we want. Okay, so I'm going to, how am I going to do this? I'm going to center this on my grid, on my mat, so that I know approximately where the center is. So this is all experimental, just so you know. I may have to cut another one. But let's just see if we can get this to come down just a little bit so that we know a more specific size that it is better. Okay, I didn't center it exactly, but I got pretty close, as you can see. Looks like I'm going to have to cut some of it because I didn't push hard enough through the shimmer paper. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you can see I was just slightly off, but pretty doggone close for eyeballing it. Let's see if that is a better fit. Okay, that is definitely a better circle. So use your circle maker at 3 and 3 ticks, or 3 white marks, and that will give you the appropriate circle for around the top portion. It is a little bit tricky whenever you jump from one of these to the other one. Sometimes it's not proportioned exactly like you might want it. Okay, so we've got those. I'm going to get rid of this for the time being because we don't need it, and I'm going to move those bigger templates out of the way because basically what we need are just these smaller ones. so that we can examine and try to determine which circle needs to go on the inside. Okay, so let's see. That is the exact size that we used before. So I'm betting the next size down will be the perfect size. Yep. So we need to cut this with the green blade and use the medium circle. So let's find the medium circle. We'll center it on here. Get the green blade. This is a little tedious, and I'm sorry for that, but if you'd rather not build it, you don't have to build it. It's just something I thought would be fun. All right. So there's our mat for the top part of our 8. And let's figure out which one goes in the bottom. So the blue blade with the large circle in the center is how we cut the circle out of our pink. So we need one that's slightly smaller than that. That's going to be quite a bit smaller, but really I don't have anything that will cut any larger than that. And because my circle maker only goes to 3 inches, that is, we need a circle that's roughly 2.5 inches in diameter, which is too small for my circle maker, unfortunately. So I think I'm just going to err on the side of ease and use this template to cut the center out of this and call it good, because I'm just not that persnickety. So we need the red blade with the medium circle, which we already have in the center, and then we will be able to assemble all of this lovely stuff. Okay, let's see here. That is, that looks pretty good. Looks like it's on target. So we'll cut the middle out of this guy. And there's our base for our 8. Okay, now when we put these together, what we want to do is layer them in such a way that the pink portion is touching, like so. Okay, and you could do some cutting and stuff like that, but there's no real reason to cut into it. You can just layer it and all will be well, and then you don't have to worry about cutting it wrong, which would be my main concern for myself. If I was to, try to cut portions off so that it all laid, perfectly nicely. So what I'm going to do is just leave one little portion of each of these without adhesive so that I can kind of layer them together. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to add, like I said, add adhesive around 3 of my 4. I'm going to use this little slight defect in my cutting as my indicator of that's the side that is not adhered, so that it's easier for me when I go to put this together. Do I have that in this circle? Nope, this circle turned out perfect, so I don't have that. That's okay. I will just keep this side that doesn't have adhesive going forward and away from me, and I'll be all right to get this to go together. All right, so we've got those adhered. Now I'm going to just add a little bit of adhesive. Where'd it go? I'm going to add a little bit of repositionable adhesive in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of repositionable adhesive in here. Okay, so that I can layer these together. Be careful not to overlap the pink portion of your 8, and don't have your the bronze from the one side showing on the other side, if that makes sense. So really I probably should have put that underneath, but that's okay. It'll be all right. All right, let's get this page assembled. We have fooled around long enough, don't you think? I think so. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to get this V put on here. Let me make sure. Yep, this is the side with my pencil marks. So I'm going to put adhesive on the same side as my pencil marks so I can flip it over and not have to worry. So it may help you when you're trying to assemble this if you go ahead and put your page on your grid so that you can see where the center is, and that way you can get that center point put down where it needs to go, and then this will lay down much easier for you. Okay. Then our V8 is going to rest right in the middle, right there. Okay, so I'm just going to add again some more repositionable adhesive, just in case I have to adjust this guy. And we're going to make it so that the V8 is on top of the V slightly and hitting the top of our page. See that? Doesn't that look cool? I like it. All right, now let's take a look at our photos and get those put where we want them. So I've got this cool picture of me and my family with our Disney shirts. I've got this cute photo of us all walking around. I've got this is the photo of flows, so this one definitely needs to go on here. And then we've got I've got this one that shows the flow, so maybe this one ought to go on a different page because it doesn't actually show Flo's Cafe on it. This one kind of shows where it sits in proximity to the other things on the street. So I'm going to trim this because we don't need this light pole in here, right? I'm going to just trim that off, and I'm going to trim the sun out also because we don't need all that bright sun. And then we've got little bit of something. Okay, now we could use some of our bronze to go ahead and matte a couple of these photos, which might be nice, but it also might detract a little bit from our 8 that we worked so hard to build up there. I also have a strand of Garland. If you were with me to build our cozy cone, then you remember our Garland. So I'm going to just make our Garland. I'm just adding a couple of tiny little cuts in between the swags so that I can maybe bend it if I need to. And we're going to just add a little bit of Garland to our V8 up here. So we're gonna, Uh-oh. I was worried I was going to do that. Okay. So I'm going to just go from the corner of my V down to the center, up to the center of our 8, kind of like that. And same thing here. Like so. Then we're going to use a little bit of the bling that we used on the other page. I'm going to add some, let's see, I'm going to add a red heart here and a red heart here, like is on the other page. And then we're going to use green hearts for the rest, like so. Just to add just a little bit of Christmas cheer. And then I have one star left, which I could probably punch some more if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to use the one. And we're going to add this guy in right here in the middle, like that. And then let's see. Let me go ahead and I think I will just go ahead and matte, at least I'm going to matte our family picture down here. That will add a little bit more to the page. So let me do that real quick. Not adding a huge mat, just about 1/8 of an inch around the edge is all. That guy will go right in there. And then if we need to journal on this page, we could journal down here or up here. We could, let's see, we maybe should add a couple of more embellishments to this page. Let me see if I can find my stickers. And we'll see what we can add. Okay, so we're looking pretty picked over. I've got sunglasses and a star left on that one. I think there was one that I was thinking would be perfect for this, and now I'm not remembering. Trip, are we there yet? Oh my gosh, if I had enough numbers to tell you how many times my children said, "Are we there yet?" Road trip adventures, good times, green. I like that it's green. That's gonna add 2 because we've got we're gonna use landmark and road trip. And we use the sunglasses. Okay, we'll pop this up with some foam squares. I keep piling stuff on top of my foam squares, which is not good for wanting to find them. Okay. I am not so great with the embellishing on a one-page layout because I don't do one-page layouts as a rule in general, because I just usually have so many pictures that I really can't do a one-page layout. So, but these were so decorative, that's why I kind of decided that these needed to be separate videos for you, because otherwise they would have taken way too much time. Let me grab the Cozy Cone page so you can see it next to this one. See how we've got Garland on both sides and the stars that kind of add to everything, and maybe we'll just add this in kind of right here for the it would have been probably great for my landmark sign to be pointing the other way, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm just going to glue down these photos. Glue down. I'm going to adhere these photos in place. Then I think we'll be done, but we'll take one last look here and make sure that there's nothing super necessary that I overlooked. Right? All right. How are we looking? I think that's going to work. We've got embellishments in most places. We've got this that kind of draws the eye this way, kind of this way. I think we're good. All right, so I am going to say that we're done with that. But if you have any impressions or comments or suggestions, feel free to add them to the comments on this video. I try really hard to make sure I respond to everybody's comments, and I love to hear from you guys. So let me know what you think. All right, thanks so much. We have one more video to do in this series for Radiator Springs from our Disney trip, so that'll be up next. I hope you'll join me, and thanks so much for joining me today for this creative moment. And I hope you have many more. Have a great day.